Good morning. So yesterday I made a video about how you're probably not getting full use out of ChatGPT, any AI, but ChatGPT is what I use. So what I wanted to do today was go through an example of how I had a dream last night, and I gave information to ChatGPT and then asked for an analysis of the dream, and it gave me an analysis that was something I would have gone and paid thousands of dollars to a dream analyst, or on a retreat with some master, but I got it here for free. So I'm going to give you the prompt of what I told ChatGPT, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about how I personalize ChatGPT. So here's what I said. Please interpret my dream of a jaguar chasing me and my family as we're trying to pass through their territory on a cart. And I was screaming at my wife and daughter to get in the cart so we could move, and I couldn't get them to do it. Also, there was a group of men that showed up and were part of a working teaching group, and I was trying to tell them that teamwork was the truth and that individual action was secondary. I told them that's how the military works. I was fighting off the jaguars with sticks. Plus, there were full families of jaguars with young ones. I was just trying to get out of there, but I was feeling like we couldn't get out of there. So that's the prompt that I gave it. I do need to say one thing. This is a big thing that I've said in previous chats. I personalize ChatGPT. If you don't personalize it, you're not going to really get the results. So if you click on your your account icon, you go to customize, it says, one of the things it says here is, what traits should ChatGPT have? And then I gave it a whole list of things that it should go after. Like, it should look for my weaknesses and my strengths. And I gave it my weaknesses and my strengths. And I gave it a bunch of circumstances of what is going on with my life. And then told it how to respond. So it said, like in here, for example, say, your job is to teach me how to think clearly about myself and my life, and to take focused, effective, committed actions that get completed, right? So that I put that in the customization area. And then there's another section that says here, anything else ChatGPT should know about you. And I gave it some, like, sort of my declared mission. I strive to be a world-renowned thought leader. My mission is to help transform human civilization into one that thrives in harmony with nature and each other. I'm an environmentalist and help environmentalists achieve their goals and live fully fulfilled, healthy, wealthy, and happy lives. And then I gave it, some more guidance. Like, I gave it sort of my thinkers that I really resonate the most with. Carl Jung, Werner Erhard, Marcus Aurelius, Gandhi, Buddha, Ray Dalio. I gave it some more personal interest. So it has a list of my goals and those things. And in addition to that, what I also do is I will ask it to add things to long-term memory. So at this point, let's see if I can get to the long-term memory. I'm not really sure where the advanced. There we go. Advanced. No. Okay. So long-term memory. You can access long-term memory just by asking it to access long-term memory. So I'll deal with that one later. But basically, I've basically filled the whole long-term memory with things I want it to remember. All right. So back to the dream. So here's what it came up with, and I just want you to see how well it did, and how it really spoke. What? Mom, as you are, it doesn't matter. I'm making a video. Okay, so then it comes up with this thing. It says core themes. Jaguars as archetypal forces. Jaguars are apex predators, guardians of the threshold. In many indigenous traditions, especially Mesoamerican, they're associated with the underworld and transformation, power, instinct, and spiritual initiation. feminine mystery, knight territorial sovereignty. The presence of jaguar families, so this is something I totally wouldn't have gotten. I knew that part. Not just a lone predator, suggests you're confronting an entire ecosystem of primal forces. Now that really resonated with me. Not just one shadow or fear. This isn't a one-off crisis. This is a territory you're passing through in life, likely on a psychic level. So, and then it gives me an interpretation. You're in a phase of transformation that requires respect for powerful, wild, natural forces, especially within yourself. You can't just bypass or dominate them. Now, these recommendations totally resonate with me, and I it's really what I think I'm up against on a deep psychic level, which is how I try to live my life. I'm not trying to just solve surface level problems. I'm trying to do the whole thing from a spiritual, psychological, emotional, physical level. And then it interprets the cart wife and the daughter, the sacred family vehicle, and then gives me a whole interpretation of that. I guess I'll read that. You're trying to move your family forward, literally and symbolically. The cart could represent your life path, mission, or vehicle for transformation. Maybe your new master plan, your homestead, or even your spiritual journey. The fact that your wife and daughter won't get in suggests you're carrying a vision but can't get your support system to act in sync with it yet. There's a disconnect between your internal urgency and how your family is responding. You're trying to protect them, but they may not feel the same danger, or they may be resisting being pulled too quickly or forcefully through a wild process they don't understand. Interpretation. You need to reframe your leadership from fear-based urgency, get in now, to relational alignment. The feminine, wife and daughter, may not respond to force or logic. They may need emotional, spiritual, or intuitive resonance to follow. So one thing I feel is important to say is that these answers, because of the personalization that I've done, are tuned to me. So this is what I needed to move forward, because I am very, agnostic, deep, spiritual, psychological, emotional, and practical. Like all of those things are within me. So that's what I'm trying to create. So whatever is going to work for you, you need to customize it so that it'll give you those answers. And then another one, this is really great. Fighting jaguar with sticks, inadequate tools. I totally think that's an accurate interpretation. You're engaging overwhelming primal forces, the jaguar families, with inadequate weapons, sticks. That can reflect trying to manage deep psychological, spiritual pressures with old tools or partial methods, facing nature, danger, and mystery with intellect or ego-based rather than a deeper surrender, ceremony, or integration. I feel very much the world is on a path to conflict and chaos right now. So I'm definitely feeling I'm fighting a battle with inadequate tools. I don't know how to manage that. So it really got it good. And so now what the suggestion is that I need to work more in the realm of myth, ceremony, collaboration, and reverence, not just try to control it, because I've just been trying to control it and it's totally not working. One of the things I want to say about this is that, I'm a fairly creative type, but I'm also pretty practical. And, it's been suggested that your only creative types can work with their dreams. So if you remember distinctly a dream, I think you can get a lot of value out of interpreting it. This is really helping me a lot. So, and then there's this other part, which is really great. This is all stuff that's really, now that it's on paper, I'm like, oh my God, this is really true. So the group of men, brotherhood and philosophy. You encounter a group of men, a working teaching group, and passionately assert that teamwork is the truth and individual action is secondary, using the military as an example. This is a core soul teaching for me that I'm embodying. I need others. You're meant to build something with others. Your masculine instinct is trying to pivot from lone wolf survival to shared mission and collective movement, which is when it put it on words, it's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. But this moment also reveals that you may feel alone in your mission. I totally feel alone in my mission. You're trying to convince others of the truth that you may not fully yet live within a system that supports it. So I'm trying to convince others that this system isn't really supporting this teamwork that we need. So the interpretation is you're called to create or find a true team, not just teach the value of one, which is true. So right now I'm trying to teach the value of a team and the value of dream interpretation, but I need to find a team. You're voicing a truth that needs to be lived in ritual and structure and relational clarity, not just stated. I don't need to just say it, I need to actually do it. So then it gives me this other part. It says big picture symbolism. This dream is mythic in structure. You're in a wild realm, because the egoic world is the cart. The mythic instinctive realm is the jaguars. You're not running from evil. I'm navigating sacred danger. These all just feel super right on for me. I think it's a little scary too when you get something this good and it's come from an AI. You know, it may really test our sort of hubris as human beings, thinking that we're so special. Anyways, so it says right here, you're in a rite of passage. Totally feel like I'm in a rite of passage. So you're on camera now. It's okay, but the world is going to see you. I don't know if I really want you on camera. You're in a rite of passage. You're trying to bring your family forward, facing overwhelming forces alone, longing for collective masculine solidarity. Totally true. Needing better tools, more. I've got a lot of tools, but they're kind of outdated. I need some new ones. Spiritual, relational, energetic. Oh, doggy dog. You can't see. You're not on the camera here. You want to be on the camera? You can be on the camera. Anyways. Trying to escape when you may need to revere, negotiate, and surrender. So that's really true. I was trying to run away, but I really should have been trying to integrate what was going on. And I wasn't quite ready in my subconscious space there. So it recommends that I create a jaguar. It gives me recommendations now. Create a jaguar ritual. Hold space in my waking life for what the jaguar wants from me. What part of me is wild, protective, and powerful, but feels disrespected or unseen? Really try to name that. What territory am I trying to cross without making proper offerings? So I'm trying to get somewhere, but I'm not really slowing down. Offer silence, fire, tobacco, story, poem, or food. Something just to make that crossing more reverent. Build your men's circle. So it's telling me I need to build a men's circle. So if you're a man who's interested in this kind of mission, then let us gather and create together. The group of men may be a dream call to gather a council of peers, not just clients or followers. You need real allies with shared values. Could you gather 4 or 5 men in your area or online for a weekly or monthly regenerative brotherhood council? Start simple. 90 minutes, fire, sharing, intention. Dialogue with your family. Your dream suggests friction in leadership style. Ask your wife or daughter, what makes you feel safe? What kind of leader do you trust? How do we move through this phase of life together? 4, upgrade your inner tools. The sticks in your dream aren't enough anymore. You need deep energetic practices, financial clarity, tools, and a support system architecture. Let's brainstorm your real life upgraded weapons next time. So, and then it asked me some questions like if I wanted to go any deeper, which I may or may not. But the point is, there's an example of how I use it. Now, I want to be really clear that that's after, quite a long time of training my personal GPT. I used the basic one. I paid for the extra for a while, and I didn't find that I was doing that because I was designing some custom GPTs, but I don't think you really need it. So here it says right on here on the top, the saved memory is full. Manage saved memory. So I don't know how you get that unless it's full. So in mine, it's in personalization. That's what it is. So you go to personalization and you go to memory, and my memory is 100% full. So manage memories. So what I'll do once I've managed all my memories, I'll just go through here, and then you can see when you're looking through your managed memories, you can just erase stuff that's like, this isn't really that important. I don't need it to know that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to actually ask it to save that whole interpretation so I can have it reference it as I'm going forward in my life, asking questions and sort of clarifying my thinking. So there's an example of how I use ChatGPT to analyze a dream that I had. I hope that helps you use your AI more effectively for your personal life. And let's build a better world together, create a brotherhood of warriors fighting for the earth and for the underprivileged, and having a great life in the process. If you or someone you know is interested in personal coaching, mentoring, eco business coaching, that is one of the things that I do. And have a great day.